I mean, I keep emphasizing it, and it's also one of those things that whatever you do, too much of anything
Is
can be bad. Now, the one thing about exercise is it is what I consider nature's Drano. There's a reason why your system is called the circulatory system. It circulates. So if you can get that circulation and that circulatory system to pumping, clean it out, because all it's going to do is bring in new blood, burn calories, extract waste, then I would say if you know for yourself, I think it was Shakespeare said, to thyself be true.
yes, be true to you.
Then if you know the effort that you're putting in, you don't have to tell anyone. I mean, it's going to be your battle. But now if you can't lie to yourself.
You can.
So if
Yeah.
you know you're not putting in the work, then that conviction,
it'll show.
right, and that conviction will be stronger every time you go into that vice, whatever it is. So when you put in the
That's
work,
true.
right,
That's
and
true.
it piggybacks on what Leon was saying. If you know that you've put in the work, then you can have that
You
victory.
can indulge.
I mean, most
Yeah.
of our athletes that we've seen who've reached the pinnacle, guess what? They were photographed with a cigar, and it wasn't just for the photo op. So they know that if they put in the work, then they can take it because you're ingesting, the circulatory system is pumping everything out. So for me personally, I tell my clients, don't worry about anybody else's opinion and their thought on where you should go for your journey. And that's what I would tell them.
I wasn't a personal trainer, but I was.
You wasn't a personal. What kind of trainer was you?
I trained about maybe 7 or 8 years ago. I trained offensive line because I played offensive line in the NFL. So what agents would do, agents would call me up and say, "Hey, I got a kid that's got to go to this combine. He's got a camp. He's got a pro day to do, and I need you to train him for the specifics of that pro day." And the one thing I emphasized, and I was going to ask you about, the one thing I emphasized because naturally they wanted me to come in there and tell them to get in the stance. I emphasize flexibility. You know, so when they got there with me, I had them stretch. I had to do because in my line of business, offensive line, if you don't have the mobility to move from A to B, then you're not going to be comfortable with any NFL team. So I focus. This is what I learned when I was playing in the NFL. That flexibility is more important than anything because your body ability to move at certain angles and certain degrees and all that kind of stuff. So I just want to know from you, as a personal trainer, do you emphasize flexibility first and foremost before you even get into the actual training of a person?
That's good.
Well, flexibility is very high on my list. As a matter of fact, I give assisted stretches at our gym, and they're called PNF stretches. Proprio-neurological facilitated stretches, where I assist people in it. Now for me, because of the approach that I've developed over the last 2 decades, I will actually train a person into flexibility. Because what you have to realize, our society right now is very anti-posture. We're here, you're here on the computer. Then you go get out of the computer. Once you get out the desk, then you go and you sit in the lumbar seat, which is very comfortable. Then depending on how long the day is, you go sit down, you get that remote, you lean back, and you still slouch. So there's nothing emphasizing posture. That also actually has a real big part in decreasing flexibility. So what I do a lot of times is in different exercises, we don't just do the standard exercises. We would do some exercises that will not only strengthen them, but also assist in the flexibility. The main components of fitness are the strength, muscle strength, your muscle endurance, your aerobic capacity, and like you said, flexibility is actually the most neglected, but it's the most important. And so for me, I can actually appreciate you going to those guys first with flexibility. Like I said, I've been on the path of being a sneaky trainer, so I slide flexibility in there with them, just like I slide posture in there. I'll slide certain things. A lot of times, like I said, there's certain things I'll slide in based on the personality. A person who has control issues, trust issues, I will have them do a lot of exercises with their eyes closed.
Wow.
Because now they trying to look in the mirror to see. And I'm telling them one thing here, but because they're so high strung and critical of themselves, they're looking at the mirror trying to make sure that I get it right. And I'm like, nah, turn around. Look over this way. Don't even look at the mirror. Internally feel what you feel working. And that actually piggybacks on what you were saying about being quiet.
Yeah.
Sitting down some time. When people close their eyes, they can start to feel. Because if you were to close your eyes, go ahead and close your eyes one time. If I say move here versus move here, you're going to go right to that point. A lot more than when a person tells you. Because you've told some people some things verbally, and you're in their face saying 1, 2, 3, and they're going to 3, 2, 1. You say 1, 2, 3, but if you can get them to close their eyes, internally visualize and see that, then they're going to get those connections that they need.
That's good. That's good, Sean. You know, because, you know, I think about the breath awareness too. And I used to do yoga quite a bit. Leon, you ever did yoga?
I've done hot yoga before.
Hot yoga, Bikram.
I did hot yoga in about 12 years ago in a garage. One of my homeboys. Not for real. No, it was like a trucking garage, right?
Okay.
He had class in the trucking garage with no AC, and we brought our own mats. We played music, and he had us stretching.
Nice.
It was the worst day of my entire life.
But you know what?
It was. I sweated like Amistad. I did.
Like you were on the ship. You was on the stage.
I swear I sweated like Amistad.
Let me tell you something. But I did Bikram yoga. It's called Bikram, the heart yoga. About 3 years ago, and they're not a sponsor yet, so I ain't gonna say that. But anyway, it was a local place here in Jacksonville, and they had the hot coals, you know, with the yoga. And I sweat like I don't know what, but you know what, Leon? It was the most spiritual awakening thing I ever had in my life. Because you know what? Other than smoking a cigar, let me tell you, you had to put your phone up. You couldn't have no communication with nobody. And you just sweat, and it was just relaxing. And at the end of the hour, you know what I did, Leon? I cried.
Did you?
I shed a tear.
It was an emotional journey.
It was very emotional.
You know what's wrong with this society that we live in most of the time?
What?
A lot of us are afraid to be alone.
Leon,
By yourself.
you better say it.
With yourself.
You
By
better
yourself
say it.
with yourself.
You better say
You
it.
learn more. You learn
do.
more about yourself by yourself
You
with yourself.
do, Leon,
I'm
because
telling you,
I
that's
did.
how I was able to grow. I was able to grow that way.
I did, and that's what happened to me. That's why I cried, Leon, exactly. Because I was able to be by myself alone in that hour. And it just, the way the yogi was talking to us, and she was just saying, open up yourself. You can forgive yourself for any past experiences. She was just talking, and I just was like, wow. And I was sweating at the same time, but it was just like a release by myself, you know.
Well, see, most people, to jump in real quick, even with that internal tension, I have people come in the gym daily, and they don't even realize when they come in the gym, they walk in, and I'm like, go back outside. If you ain't old enough to know about Etch-a-Sketch, shake that energy off and come back in.
Come back in.
Because people don't realize it, it's internalized. They come in, they're like, they got on shoulder pad. It's here.
That's me all the time.
They hold it, because you got to think too. The body's natural reaction to stress is to do two things. Neither one is going to help. Your body's natural reaction to physical or mental stress is to hold your breath and scrunch up. If Big Surgeon was to be falling towards me, I'm going to hold my breath and scrunch up. Now, it ain't going to help nothing.
Right.
But that's what the body does for stress. If I'm getting ready to leave the office, I done logged out, I got the big boss call me. He say those numbers not right. I put my keys down. I turn back on the computer. I say, okay, go ahead, let's go. Where are we going? And once again, stress is stressed. It's scrunched up, and you're holding your breath. So a lot of that too with the breath, there's going to be a natural release with working out, even in and of itself, because of the breath.
So Sean, how can you help folks to have more of a proactive approach to stress in regards to breathing, exercise, and relaxation? What would be your advice if you could just give a brief? I know that's probably very broad, but what would you give as far as advice to help people have more of a proactive approach to the stress and how to deal with it?
I would say start listening to your mind. Because technically, the brain, by definition, is a parasite. The brain is something that is an entity inside of you that tricks you into thinking that it is you. You are not your brain. And the moment that people can practice and learn how to get that parasite to stop operating, or the more that you watch it, the more you take the power away from it. The only difference between us normal people and some of these souls that are out there walking our streets and talking to themselves is that we normal people just know how to keep our conversation in our heads to ourselves. In my opinion, those people are more considerate than us normal people because they carry shopping carts and bags.
Yeah.
We are in driving planes, buses, SUVs with people in them, and that brain is still going. If you were able to put a megaphone to your head while you're driving, you will sound like one of those souls on the street. Oh, what's that? That's my song. Hey, when they put that there? I don't remember that. I've been stressed for the last 3 months. What's that? Okay, wait a minute. Did I get that email right? All of this is going on while you are controlling thousands of pounds of machinery.
Wow, still.
So that's what go ahead.
That's important. That's what you just said, because think about accidents, car accidents. You have how do they feel when they're stressed and they're all tight and tense stuff?
Well, no doubt. And so I would tell people to start watching
That's good.
Watching their mind, because even with working out, I have to get people to watch their mind so that they notice the patterns that their body will subconsciously repeat. The body's gonna naturally cheat no matter what you try to do. All right, the body's gonna find a path of least resistance. Now, I need some of our listeners out there to not try to use that as an excuse. If you get caught up in some situations, you be like, hey, the trainer said the body has its own mind and control. No. But the body will try to find the path of least resistance. If you are saying, I gotta work these biceps, and you told your body, I'm gonna do these curls, the body does not care how it gets there. And to the body, joints are not real. There's nothing in between the joint. So the body will use that as, that's a place where there will be no stress. So when I get ready to curl, and this is why you see the guys, you see them all the time in the gym, they curl and they go in here. Well, they putting all this stress on your lower back. But that's the path of least resistance, because there are many joints in between your spine. So same thing with squats. People's knees will rock into it. And then they're wondering why the knees are hurting. But the body does not want to go into a hard work area. It is going to, even when you say, okay, I'm getting up, it's 5 o'clock, I'll be to the gym on time, 6 o'clock. The moment you get there, if the body can find an outlet to distract you from that, it will.
It will do it. That's the mind.
Yes.
Wow, Sean, that is good stuff. You know what, Sean, I can tell you that it's so many listeners that are on here that are chiming in, and they want to know how to get in touch. How do they get in touch with you? Give us your information in order to get in touch with you locally. And if you do any type of virtual learning?
Well, the funny part about it, when you did call me, I'm like, and reached out to me. I'm working on an online training platform as we speak.
Very good.
And so it was one of those things where I knew the timing of this. I'm like, I didn't have it ready, but
that's all right.
It's coming. But as far as a physical location, I'm at the TrueFit Studios on Riverside, 1035 Riverside.
1035 Riverside. Okay.
And I give a lot of times we're right next door to the Riverside Garden Club, but I'll give a landmark that more people are familiar with. It's
I know what you're gonna say.
Yes. Since there's a place across the street from us. We're on the corner of Riverside and Post Street, so people know a lot.
Just say it. Just say it.
We're right across the street from River and Post.
River and Post.
Yes, and what it is, so my entity is Watts Works Functional Fitness and Stretch Bar.
Okay.
We actually will give full body stretches. Process takes 30 to 45 minutes depending on how stressed you are. This is not to knock masseuse and massage therapists because everybody has their skill set. But a masseuse will work the areas that are containing the stress.
Okay.
Now, the moment you leave and you get that phone call again, it's back. Stretches will elongate the body so that it's actually harder to retain the stress from the beginning because you're not so tight.
Okay.
The flexibility, once again, as Big Sir said, it is a very important part and it's very neglected. So we do the stretches there. I like to brag on my table. I have a table that holds up to 800 pounds so I can get
Very good.
all sizes and
Baby,
stretch
come
it.
get that stretch.
I'm 310 by the way.
Leon, go get that stretch, baby.
Well, and that's the thing. I'm about, okay, I'm around 250 something. So between the two of us, it'll be enough for that.
There you go.
To be able to handle all of the tension on there. But once again, I'm at TrueFit Studios.
Okay.
I can be reached 904-993-9119.
Okay.
That is the business phone.
Say it again one more time.
904-993-9119.
Very good.
We're going to highlight that 911 part.
911.
Yes, 904-993-9119.
Very good.
I can be reached via email if you want to talk about training and you have your own personal medical things. It'll be a private direct link to me. It is megawattsfitness@gmail.com.
Megawatts Fitness.
megawattsfitness@gmail.com.
And I love that, Sean, because I love how you capture the, not only just the physical aspect, but how you give us the background of how we need to relax and what we need to do to integrate into getting to that point. Because everybody does not know how to get to, you know, I can say just, I'm gonna speak for my culture, you know. I'm the black culture, I'm a black girl. I'm black. Y'all know I'm black? I am black. Leon, I'm black. And, you know, in our culture, a lot of times we don't get a lot of advice or training on how to relax or succumb to coming down from everybody else's stuff and getting into your own space.
Oh, no, I agree. I think that we've internalized too many sayings like the struggle is real. Well, no, you shouldn't have to struggle. And if you can find a balance from whatever your individual struggle is, and see what I like to tell my clients, whether you like math or not, there's a number line. There's a negative side, 0, and a positive side. I have to tell a lot of people, if you're over at -4, which is super pissed off, even though we've been conditioned that we want to get all the way to the positive side, you have to count the credit. If you go from pissed off to just angry to now indifferent, that's progress. -4 to -3 to -2 is progress.
Wow.
But we get in that negative sunken place and then it's like, I got to get all the way to the positive and be my happy self again. No. If you can go a notch, once again, back to the momentum, whether it's in working out, whether it's in dealing with your emotional health, any step forward is a step forward in progress. So
That's
count
true.
it as
And
much.
not even just in the black culture, but in any culture, you know, we all be conditioned on how we eat, how we were raised, how we deal with stress. And so it's very important for us to learn how to be physically, holistically, emotionally.
Oh, no doubt, because I can help get you in shape. You can eat all you want. You can be the healthiest specimen, and we've all seen the stories, read the stories of the person who ran the marathons and was in shape, and then they died when they were out running because they didn't deal with the stress.
Yes, because I've done that. Listen, Listen, I'm a runner. Even though I haven't ran since before COVID, be quiet, Leon. I haven't ran a race since before COVID, but I can still consider myself a runner. And even at that, I feel like I had COVID probably about 3.5 months ago. And I'm still trying to work on my breath because I used to not have any problem running from 1 mile to the other, but now everything has changed for me. And so it makes me a little discouraged, but I have to keep trying and trying.
So we're gonna fix all of that, and you can just come see me at
Please, Sean, help us sister out,
Watchworks
man.
and True Fit Jacks, and you can just come see me, and I got you.
Pardon.
Yeah.
There's a Chinese proverb that says the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one foot.
That's true. That's true.
So when you gonna take that step?
I'm gonna take that step.
I'm a what?
I help people with that disease too. I help them cure that
With the
Alma disease.
The Alma disease.
Yep.
Yeah. But we gonna do it, Sean, and you know we appreciate you for coming on this evening and just helping the listeners virtually as well as in our in-studio audience just be more aware of what they're doing and their physical fitness. You know, I'm a big proponent, not just about looking good, but feeling good. You gotta feel good, because you know you can look good all you want to, but unless that body feels good physically, you're not hitting on nothing if you're not feeling right. You gotta feel good.
And I'll add on to that. There are lots of healthy, attractive bodies with some ugly inside. So we got to get that inside just as healthy as the outside.
And that's so true. And with us going through this pandemic, Leon, I don't know if you've experienced this, but I have noticed that within this pandemic, I found one or two things with people. It's like people have gotten very impatient and uncompassionate, or very helpful and compassionate about impatient. And so when we go through struggles and challenges and trials, that's what Ultimate CEO is all about. When you go through those challenges, you gotta learn how to how do you crush every opportunity? You gotta have practical tips and techniques, and that's what Sean is bringing. Practical tips and techniques to help you move forward in what you're trying to do. So thank you so much, Sean. We're gonna continue on with you, and we're going to again have you announce how people get in touch with you, and we look forward to the virtual learning, because there are some people that we have from out of town that are chiming in on the line, and they want to be able to get in touch with you also. So
We are working on it here within the next couple of weeks. As soon as everything is a green light, I will definitely be getting to you first so we can get back to your listeners, as well as I would love for you to have me back.
I would love that. You have been so informative. This has been so good. I feel so inspired now. I think I'm going to go run my next race, Leon. I feel so inspired. You going to run a race with me, Leon? Leon! No, wait a minute. No. What the hell now?
Hey, listen, you got to walk-a-thon them all in.
Okay, we're going to walk.
Okay, I'll walk. Now, I ain't ran in 20 years.
We're going to
I'll
walk and
walk all
run.
day.
Can you run like a
No, I'm good.
two-step?
I ain't doing no running.
We're going to do a two-step.
No, I get him some running cardio with the boxing mitts and the gloves.
Oh, now I love the boxing. Now.
There you
like
go.
that?
I do that cardio. I do boxing on the weekend.
What do you think about when you go to boxing?
My ex-wife.
You got to read that book, Fourth Down and Down.
That was a
On
little
Amazon.
Little jokey joke.
Okay, so we're going to go on to our virtual listeners. Thank you so much, our virtual listeners that are out there. Sinshay Boye, that is Mara Shawana. Thank you so much. One of our podcast sponsors, Tracy Atkinson out of Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you so much. Ronald Will Flowers, he is Smoking Aces. Thank you so much for being here. Lisa Gillespie, the real estate extraordinaire here in Jacksonville, Florida. Thank you so much. Alan Keith, my man. Alan Keith, thank you for being on. And Glancy the Young. Hey girl, what's going on? We're going to go a little back through our sponsors, because my executive producer said that we lost a little bit of Wi-Fi earlier, Leon. So I got to go back through these sponsors a little bit. So here goes the marathon of the sponsorships. Hello, y'all. We got Nicole Kelly. Y'all look out for Nicole Kelly. She's a Nicole Isadora. 888-658-3382. Facebook and Instagram, NicoleIsadora.com. www.nicoleisadora.com. Designer sunglasses, handbags, and exclusive accessories. We also have Miss Brenda Holmes of Morgan Moreau Consultancy, 904-416-1650. Facebook and Instagram, Morgan Moreau Consults, www.morganmoreau.us. She is a business development manager specializing in business operations and social media brand development. Local young lady who's doing fine things in the local community for branding. So look her up. We also have Alan Bird Global Industries, 904-591-7633. Facebook and Instagram, Hair Elements Products, the private label partner to the professionals. We also have Miss Shawana Boyer of Senshay Fashions, 904-413-1744. Facebook and Instagram, Senshay Fashions. www.ishopsenshayfashions.com. When you are looking for something, say it, Leon. Chic and classy, shop Senshay Fashions, not just a boutique, but an experience. Every day is a what? You got Leon. Every day is a.
Every day is a runway.
Ah!
Okay, all right, I got you. I'm on my toes, partner.
Leon, I love you.
Uh-huh.
I love you. Every day is a runway with Senshay. You can look up our Smoke and Sport discount online, SCORE Sport, Senshay Fashions. And we also have Mr. Brian McCrae of Big Boy Cigar Life Cigars and Accessories in the Tampa area, 813-753-8226 on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Big Boy Cigar Life, www.bigboycigarlife.com. He has a line of unique cigar brands and blends in the Tampa area, cigar accessories, humidors, ashtrays, lighters, and cutters, and featuring all Zycar products, www.bigboycigarlife.com. And Mr. Robert Brown of Grown Ass Cigar Society Incorporated. I am sporting the Grown Ass Cigar Society God Bear shirt on this evening. It's a cigar shirt, baby. Check it out. Y'all want me to stand up for a minute? AT, can I say? Hey, get into it. Get into it. Get into it. Okay. Grown Ass Cigar Society, various cigar blends from mild to full body, international group based in Palm Beach, Florida. The Grown Ash movement that brings the world together one leaf at a time. As Robert Brown always says, you show love, you get love. www.grownash.com. Grown Ash Cigar Society on Facebook and Instagram. We also have coming up in August, hot co-host.
Yes.
The Boutique Cigar Association Smoke at the Creek event, Facebook and Instagram at Smoking in at the Creek. VIP and general admission tickets you can look on Eventbrite. Smoke at the Creek, August 13th and 14th. This is for all the boutique brands that will be coming on at this event. It'll be a great time to integrate and learn about all the boutique cigar brands that we consider ourselves behind. We should definitely go and support. It'll be a great time for us to engage on the boutique brands and support them. So we'll be going to that event in August.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Sounds
that'll be
good.
a great time.
All
Great
right.
time, great time, great time. So moving right along, we're gonna roll up into our sport time of Smoke and Sport. Live with Leon and Tracy. So what we got going on for the sports time for Smoke and Sport? What's happening, Leon?
Well, right now, the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be finishing up this week their OTAs. What are OTAs, partner?
OTAs is the, I got it, organized.
There you go.
Organized. Wait a minute. Out of Smoke and Sport.
Organized
What do you call a team?
Team activity.
There we go. Okay,
Organized
partner.
team
There's
activity.
No quiz, partner. Just wanna make
I
sure.
know. Organized
Okay.
team activity.
Organized team activity.
And you know what? I love that because what I want to know, Leon, from that,
Okay.
the organized team activity.
It's voluntary.
It's voluntary.
It is very
But
voluntary.
and I know the camps are mandatory.
Yeah,
Minicamp
minicamp
is-
and training camp is
minicamp is
mandatory.
mandatory.
Yes, absolutely.
The OTAs is
It's not.
voluntary.
They're voluntary and mandatory.
But
Which
should the
means-
OTAs be mandatory?
No, they shouldn't. They shouldn't be mandatory.
I think they should.
Why should they be on mandatory? Why?
I think it should be. This is why I think it should be.
That's the reason why we have a union. We have a union so the coaches, the staff can't make everything mandatory. Everything is we've already collectively bargained that OTAs are voluntary, they're not mandatory. But in reference to that, when you have a 1 in 15 season, everybody should be there. Okay, so everybody, for the most part, the Jacksonville Jaguars have had 100% participation in OTAs, which is good. That's good.
But I think that the OTA should be mandatory because it's a time for them to get together.
Okay.
And to learn each other's skill set.
Okay.
I think it's a good time for them to learn each other's skill set. They gotta make.
Well, I would tend to agree with you since Urban Meyer is a new coach,
correct,
with a new staff and a new system, so it'll be incumbent upon all the players on the team, offensively and defensively, to know their philosophies and their playbook. So I totally agree with that. I totally agree with you. The OTA should be mandatory here in Jacksonville, especially when you lose 15 games in a row, like they did last year. Everybody should be 100% participation, which they have been for the most part. They've been 100% participation OTA, which they're essentially what they're doing is what you do in the OTAs with the coaching staff. You're trying to create tempo. You want the guys to be enthusiastic. You want to have that positive energy. You want them to be excited about the upcoming season. You do a little bit.
That's why I feel about it.
Yeah, you do a little bit of install. You know, you don't give too much. You just give a sample size of the offense, the defense. You just want to see guys running around with it in there. So that's the OTAs. And they're going to finish up the OTAs this week. So next week, next Tuesday is mini camp. Mini camp is mandatory.
I heard this. I heard, producer, I heard that somebody wasn't having such a great time at the mini camp.
At the OTAs, who was that?
Trevor.
No, where did you get that from?
I saw it on the Google.
On the Google,
social
was having a
media.
good time.
On the Google, he wasn't having such a fantastic.
Well, I mean, I don't know what.
It hasn't been that great for him.
That's not true. He's been. First of all,
Is it not true?
First of all,
That's what I read.
if you're going to do
It's the Google.
if you're going to do an evaluation on a guy who's throwing on air the vast majority of the time, then he don't need to be playing football. All right, so he's throwing on air half. So
I didn't go that far, Leon.
I'm just saying, he's not going to have a QB. See, this is what I don't get about people. People each and every day, they go into practice and they self-evaluate a guy based upon the fact that he's either throwing on air or throwing against his own teammates. All right. So give the guy a little bit of slack. And
I don't give him no slack. They paying him too much money.
Well, that is true. But you know, you got to remember, he's a rookie. This is the first time in the NFL, so there's going to be some growing pains.
Tighten up, Trevor. Tighten up.
He's going to be fine. Now, he did have a slight hamstring pull the last couple of days, so you want to make sure that gets done. So they've been pulling him back from a lot of the stuff that he's doing, so he doesn't aggravate that hamstring. So OTAs will finish up this week. The next week will be training camp. Training camp will be for 3 days. It'll be a little bit more intense, a little bit more get after it, a little bit more hustle, a little bit more tenacity towards it. Still won't have any pads on, but you're going.
They won't have pads on.
Won't have pads on doing what you're doing next week.
So what do you feel about that?
It's soft. It's soft.
No,
it's soft.
no. What do you feel about that, Sean? What is
as far as what part?
We talk loud. We talk real. We talk.
I know.
Loud.
I said what part? What part?
Not having pads on and not being very integrated or engaged into the OTAs. I think everyone should be. I think it should be mandatory. Me personally. That's just my opinion.
Well, like you said, if you are coming off a 1 in 15 season, then it should be a no-brainer. Now, as far as Trevor Lawrence goes, the systems, I'm thinking that, I mean, you got guys who have been, case in point, Tom Brady was looking horrible the first part of the year. But it was in a whole new system. He had to learn.
And
this quarterback is coming he's coming from college with whole new, all different systems, everything.
I'll take that.
I mean, and you got to think, with him being in college, he had his cadences down. He knew that sixth sense. As soon as they called a play, Vic Surson knew, okay, this is the one where he had to pull this way or do this way.
I'll take that.
So he's getting, I would give him a little bit of a wiggle room because he has to learn this system versus his previous system.
What he's always known.
Yes.
I'll take that.
But you also got to understand this, that the offensive coordinator, Bevel, who actually was the coordinator for Russell Wilson when he first started over the Seattle Seahawks. He's not going to make Trevor Lawrence fit into his system. He's going to make his system. He's going to build his system around Trevor Lawrence.
Him, really?
Absolutely. He's going to build his system around Trevor Lawrence. Some of the aspects that he had success with in Clemson, as well as Urban Meyer's offense that he ran when he was in college as well.
Okay.
That Trevor Lawrence ran as well while he was in college. So I mean, I don't think the transition for Trevor Lawrence from college to the NFL is going to be that big, because most of the terminology and most of the formations and aspects of the offense is going to be built around some of the stuff that he did well in college.
Okay.
So that's going to be a good thing for him. So the transition won't be as difficult for him as it was for anybody else. And after minicamp, the guys after minicamp they get a whole month off.
They get a month off.
They get a whole month off.
30 days.
30 days. And
Okay.
then they get into training camp. Then training camp lasts about 3 weeks.
Okay.
And that 3 weeks are leading into the preseason games. Our first preseason game partner. I think our first preseason game is against, I want to say the Cleveland Browns.
Like Cleveland Browns?
Yeah, I think we played the Cleveland Browns first. And then we
Want me to
play.
look it up?
No, I think we played Cleveland
Okay.
first. And then we play the Saints on Monday night, preseason. And then we finish with the Cowboys.
Okay.
And then after the last preseason game against the Cowboys, we get a week and a half off, and then we start the season on the road against the Houston Texans.
So what about the trades, Leon?
The only really big trade out there that was Julio Jones was traded from the Atlanta Falcons to the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans, they're in the AFC South division, so that's going to give the Tennessee Titans, who was already favored to win the division, another added weapon, along with A.J. Brown, Derrick Henry, and Ryan Tannehill. So they're going to be the perennial team to catch in the AFC South, which gives them another weapon to compete in the AFC. The darling of the AFC is the Kansas City Chiefs, so everybody's jockeying for positions to try to catch the Chiefs.
Okay.
So Tennessee figures they have a window, 2 or 3 year window to actually take their steps to somehow dethrone the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
We're a long way from that, so
We're a long way, yeah.
we got a ways to go.
We got a ways to go, but that's all right.
Yeah, but we're good.
I'm looking forward to it, though.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward, because you know what, Leon, I must say, you have got me into, I'm an NBA person. I'm a basketball person. But you have got me into this NFL like nobody else.
Well,
And I appreciate it.
Well, the only reason why you're into the NFL now because LeBron gone.
No.
LeBron is gone.
No.
He gone home.
Wait, let's stop.
And I'm a Laker fan now.
Let's
you know
stop.
He gone.
Let's stop.
It's
Everybody calm down, relax. Everybody.
He gone.
Okay. He gone.
He gone.
He gone.
He on vacation.
He
Right?
a little vacation. But God bless LeBron. LeBron, if you're looking right now, God bless you. We appreciate you for everything you've done for the Lakers organization. And we know that you are the best that ever was. And we love you, LeBron. Lakers. King James. We love you. Just so you know, I said that.
So I'm gonna be recorded
I
on
said
this. I'm gonna be okay.
Hey, did you hear about the rumor in the NBA?
What's that, Leah?
Pat Riley was fined.
What?
He was fined for tampering because he was trying to get LeBron to come back to Miami after they lost.
He said he'll leave the key.
Really?
Say he'll leave the key
Under the mat.
Yes.
Really?
I don't know about
Are you serious
what
right
type of
now?
damage. What type of damage 25,000
I
fine
didn't hear that.
does to Pat Riley?
Yeah,
though.
that's crazy.
That's truly a quarter to
That's
him,
crazy.
That's a night out.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I
Yeah, he told me to
did
leave the keys under the mat anytime he want to come home.
Wow. I don't know, Leon.
And listen, can y'all get the biggest problem with the Lakers is that AD can't stay healthy.
For one thing,
Can't stay healthy.
can we get Kuzma to do something
No,
other
he
than
is, listen.
what he's doing?
He need to go.
Can we Kuzma? Can
What,
we trade him?
what we need to do is make a push for Damian Lillard.
That
For
part.
the Portland Trailblazers.
That part.
That's what we need.
That part.
Now we got something.
That part. Give me. You gonna leave me hanging behind? That part. That part right there. Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? It's all over.
Well, this is a pleasant little surprise and deviation. I thought it was gonna be all football.
No, that's how we roll.
Okay.
That's how we roll.
All
We
right.
even talk about some golf. You know about golf. What you know? What you know?
I know that it is not as easy as you think it is.
It's not. Listen,
I know that
played
much.
golf. God rest his soul. My grandfather taught me how to play golf many years ago. It's a very skillful game. Very, it's a big head game. And you know what? Golf is more intense than people think it is. It's very intense.
Well,
It's a very
being in
intense,
the
skillful game.
so there was a place here called the University Club. I used to train there, and over in San Marco.
Yeah.
And I've trained a lot of golfers, and that's actually how I had to get out there on the greens, was because I was training a lot of golfers. The biggest thing with a lot of golfers is core strength, lower back,
You gotta have that core.
and
that back. Oh.
the core strength and the flexibility, the range of motion again. You know, someone like that was actually his power was his Achilles heel.
Yeah, yeah.
Tiger was so strong
Yeah.
with the torque. That energy does not leave. So whether you liked it in physics or not, an
Hey.
object in motion stays in motion until
It does.
it reaches an
That's
equal
right.
or opposing force.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Tiger would swing so far, that would go down, which is why his knees were so bad, because you still had that energy going through it. So for me, I will say though, I thank Tiger because I got a big influx of clients.
Business.
Yes, because they, you know, when I would see the guys, I'm like, I had no idea he was that buff and that ripped, and I need to come. And so I had to at least go out. I didn't want to be one of those that never walked it, but I'm gonna talk it and tell you how to do it. So I had to get out there and
It's an
it was
intense
not-
game. It's not easy as people think.
well, the biggest thing is also, I would say, depending on how big of a critic you are on yourself, and to go back to earlier in the podcast saying the mental part.
Yeah.
If you're your own biggest critic, then you're gonna have a lot of trouble out there.
Listen, swinging that club is no joke. It's no joke on that golf
Last time
course.
you been out there?
I don't know. I don't play the kind of golf y'all play. All right.
Putt.
No, the kind of golf I play, I got this in my hand, this in the other hand, and if I hit the ball, I'm happy.
Okay, all right.
That's the golf I
Let's
play.
go for play. Let's go.
That's the kind of tournaments I want to play.
It's
So,
all good.
so that actually gets into the relaxing, balancing part.
There you
the
go.
meditation part.
That's
Okay,
my
okay,
section.
okay,
Yeah.
all right, I take that.
But you know what? We appreciate all of the knowledge and intensity that you brought to this podcast on the evening, Sean. Mr. Sean Watts, personal trainer and corrective exercise specialist. He again will give his information. I'll let him announce how you can get in touch with him. He has a great holistic approach to exercise, fitness, wellness. It's not just about the outside, but it's about the inside and mind and body. So, Sean, how do people get in touch with you?
On Instagram, I can be reached at Watts Works LLC. Once again, that's Watts Works LLC. My name, Sean Watts, on Facebook. The phone is 904-993-9119. And the email is megawattsfitness@gmail.com.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sean, for being a part of our live podcast on this evening. We appreciate you for taking your time.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much for having me.
You've been amazing. And again, I am Tracy Urban of Ultimate CEO, crushing every opportunity. We are here every other Thursday, this Thursday, and then the Thursday after next for Smoke and Score Live with Leon and Tracy and my co-hosts.
Leon Searcy Jr., All Pro Cigars.
All cigars in the house. And of course, we will have our next event coming up, Ultimate CEO, on June the 26th. It's a Saturday night for our cigar course. Please come join us. You can find us on @Ultimate CEO on Facebook, and you can look up the information that you can join us for our live interactive class. We will everything from seed to leaf, teach cutting, lighting, and how to get the best enjoyment out of your cigar smoke and the whole cigar culture. And Leon, of course, has some upcoming events that he will have quarterly for all those series cigars under Howard G Cigars. Right now?
Yep, howardgcigars.com.
howardgcigars.com. We appreciate your time for joining us for our Smokers for Live. We enjoy doing this, y'all. This is the highlight of my every other week. I look forward to this. Like this is becoming a part of my life. Can I say that?
You just
Can I
did.
say that part?
Oh, yeah, you just did.
I love it. I love the cigar culture. I love the people I meet. I love the fact that Leon gave me the opportunity to do this with him. It makes a difference in my life because I have the passion about the cigar culture and just what everybody puts into it. So we just appreciate Island Girl Gate Parkway for hosting this event for us every other Thursday. Make sure that you join us on @Smoking Sport Live with Leon and Tracy on Instagram and Facebook. And we will see you on Thursday afternoons. Thank y'all so much.
Yay, yay.
Good night. And what, Leon?
And another one.
And look. Good night.